like he's trying to run a one-man band out there behind his seat. And leave a comment below. This is a make-or-break season for him. He's got to make an impact. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Happy Thursday, January 18th. We're going to dive into one of the biggest games of the year. The Houston Texans play against the Baltimore Ravens. This is CJ Stroud. This is Lamar Jackson, the quote-unquote potential MVP people are talking about. We're going to dive into that. We got a lot of games to go over and a couple big-time hit list topics. Before I do that, let me welcome our co-host to the show, the main event, the guy with the face for radio, the below-average white guy, Brent Chapman.
Good
we are excited
morning,
today
everybody.
for conversation.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about today. My pipes are unfrozen. Pipes are unfrozen in my house, which is really great. So I took my first shower, washed my one pair of tidy whities. I'm doing good, bro. I mean, it's a great day in Texas. What do you got in Miami? You got any frozen pipes?
We don't have any frozen pipes. I got to tell you, I wish that it was colder a little longer because we had a day or two of cold weather. And when I say cold, it was in the 50s. And then one day in the 60s, and people lost their mind. I saw fur coats, Brent. I saw a fur coat in Miami.
I'm surprised Dallas rarely gets into the 30s, and it was below. It was in the teens. Here's the thing, Brandon. Did you hear in the news that they were expecting, I can't even say this with a straight face, they're expecting another 3 to 4 feet of snow in Buffalo heading into this weekend.
Here comes the doom.
They're gonna need more than $20 an hour this time. The rate might be going up.
$20 an hour is a little, they had a lot of people out there. But I think the Bills should have upped that ante, and that stadium would have been clear. I mean, people were out there.
Even with $20 an hour, you still had to clean out your seat.
Yeah, you sat down and you had to bring a shovel into the stadium.
$300 to go to the game includes cleaning out your own seat with your hand.
And if you can't find your seat, then it's just good luck to you walking around. I loved watching that game and all the snowballs hitting the field during Josh Allen's run and all that kind of stuff.
I saw a new phrase for it, which, by the way, the scenes are incredible, is that they call it the snowplosion. It was when they would throw the snow in the air when they would score. That was an incredible scene.
That is historic, Brent. That scene is some of the best you'll ever see in football. It's like it's playoff season.
Yeah, that'll be in NFL clips for the next 30 years. Yes, that was incredible.
Listen, it is playoff season, and I said this yesterday in a quick short clip on YouTube. Watch this right now. Hit the like button, subscribe. We appreciate you as we expand our network and move on. But today we're talking about playoff football. The wild card games are gone. It's playoff season. We're talking right now, Houston Texans, CJ Stroud. We're talking Lamar Jackson, Baltimore Ravens, potential, quote-unquote, going to be, the votes are in, everything is done, the MVP. And what I got, Brent, realistically, CJ Stroud has had a phenomenal year as a rookie. And, he will be the rookie of the year if they haven't given him already. 10-7, 4,100 yards, 23 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Not bad at all for a rookie, considering he actually surpassed Lamar Jackson in some categories. Now, let's not forget also that Lamar Jackson did sit out, the last game. But Lamar Jackson, over 3,600 yards, 24 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. But very close to C.J. Stroud. The difference right now really is the record. The Texans are 10-7, and Lamar Jackson, the Ravens right now are 13-4, and they really would have been 14-3 if they would have played the Steelers and the starters would have played. That's really what would have happened.
That's right.
And when I look at this game, Brandon,
Lamar Jackson would have had more yards and better stats also.
Exactly, and potentially interceptions. But I will say this: watching these two players, this is going to be very important. And you said this yesterday that This is a game where the Texans could potentially upset the Ravens. They have a great team. C.J. Stroud throws a great ball. He's proven it. They are having a great season, and he's right now, quote unquote, going to be the rookie of the year. And now that he's moving further and further into the playoffs, a lot of people really do believe that. But this is what they have to stop. Okay, Brendan, watching Lamar Jackson in this clip, this is real speed at the quarterback position. You can't teach this. Now, I'm not saying Lamar should run every play. I'm not saying that he shouldn't pass the ball. I'm just saying these kind of plays where you have a quarterback that's this dynamic, this fast, has the ability to make people miss and get it done with his legs outside of just scrambling, literally running like a running back, like a deer, like a receiver, a slot. They zone in here. Watch this read. He sees that. There's no chance. Runs right past him, makes a move, bang. Another guy missed. Boom, spin. These kind of plays and this magnitude of a talent.
Josh Allen would have put that guy on his back.
But look at
there
this.
would have been no spinning.
He doesn't have to worry about that because he's running away from people. Brent, and here's another clip. Brent, watch this play right here. This is Lamar Jackson. This is just his DNA. Look at this.
Yeah, it's impressive.
And he has really vision. Fast. Look at eyes behind his head too. Watch. Oh, you're on there? Okay, left. Okay, right. Okay, watch this. Oh, sorry. Touchdown. This is what the Ravens can do on any given play. I don't care if it's 1st and 10, if it's 2nd and 20. They have to have a spy on Lamar Jackson every single play, or he's going to gash you for yards like this. So what does that do? What does that do to the Texans defense? We'll get into C.J. Stroud in a minute. But what does this do to the Texans defense when you got a guy like Lamar Jackson who's so electrifying? He's so electrifying that the whole time you're thinking about this game, you're going, I don't fear the Ravens. I fear Lamar Jackson. Right?
Okay, Brandon, are you done glazing Lamar Jackson for 5 minutes?
I'm done for the moment, so you can give me your take, and we'll go into his MVP conversation. But what do you think about what you just saw?
Brandon, look, here's the deal. I told you yesterday that I think there will be one upset this weekend, either the Texans or the Packers. I think the Texans are the more likely team to pull an upset. I think the 49ers are the more likely team to lose an upset or to give up an upset. Here's what's going to happen in this game. You're going to know in the first 2 drives. This is what happened in the Packers-Cowboys game. It's what happened in the Browns-Texans game. These younger teams with young quarterbacks show up, and there was no oh crap moment. This stage is too big for us. We're not ready for this. It's kind of what happened with Pittsburgh, right?
Yep.
Against Buffalo, right? That did not happen in those games. They're like, oh, we can beat these guys. And then Stroud was like, boom, 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 boom. And Love was like, boom, 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 boom. And all over the place. They were very confident, right? And they led their teams to victory. I think that you take that plus the 3 week layoff.
Vacation.
No, it's not. Do you guys remember what Tony Romo did? He got so much crap. He like went to Cancun with Jessica Simpson during the bye week one year and like just literally took a vacation.
Not a good idea.
Yeah. Oh, he got annihilated. Yeah. So I think that you're going to see a team that's been clicking, that's on fire, that's confident, that's going to come out. If they can move the ball against the Ravens defense, or more importantly, they can stop a Lamar Jackson once or twice early in the game, I think the beginning of the game is a tone setting. I think if Lamar Jackson gets the ball in his first drive and walks right down the field and scores, they're checked out. I think that if
like
he struggles or he slows or it's a 3 and out, if he has this, the Texans will check out. But here's what I think's gonna: if they start slow, we need like a Howard. We need like a Brent is right meter.
We do.
I checked Brent. It's been 0 days since Brent was wrong.
But
right?
Brent, listen, and I know I just showed this clip, and I know what you're saying. I agree with you, actually. But I got to tell you, fresh legs, and the 3 week thing that's a lot. a week off, 2 weeks off, but 3 weeks is a lot. But I got to tell you, when I look at these two players, I am so excited to see C.J. Stroud. I'm excited to see what he can do. He is a rookie.
I'm excited to see.
I'm
excited to see what he can do against one of the best defenses in the league. I think that's what's impressive. I think that's what's important. That's what I'm saying. Is if he gets confidence and he goes out there and he goes, "Oh, I can play against the best defense in the league. Let's roll."
Yep, I think that's what we're talking about too. But I don't. What I will say is, a lot of people, you look at this picture right here on the screen and you go, "Oh yeah, it's going to be C.J. Stroud versus Lamar Jackson." I've been saying this now for weeks. Yeah, I get that. There's a head-to-head C.J. Stroud versus Lamar Jackson. Then it's, Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes. That's not really the truth. The truth is C.J. Stroud has to play against the Baltimore Ravens defense. And all year long, all season long, people have been saying this about Lamar Jackson. When we go into the MVP talk next, this is what they've been saying. Well, yeah, Lamar Jackson's great. He should be the MVP, but the defense has set Lamar Jackson up in so many ways to be successful. Yes, that is true that they have. But Lamar Jackson has capitalized because he's a great quarterback. He's run for yards. He's passed for yards. He's got them out of crazy positions to get completions, a lot like Josh Allen. So when I'm watching this game, I like the potential upset. I think the Ravens need to win this game. Lamar Jackson needs to win this game. I think they are one receiver short. I think they're a lot like the Chiefs. They have a great setup. They had a great tight end, right, who went down early on, throughout the season here, went down. But Mark Andrews, yeah, he went down. But here's the thing. Lamar Jackson can run. Great. Running game, okay, good. When you get to the passing game, Flowers, great. Odell Beckham is your number 2, potential number 3 receiver. Other teams, 3. He's not a number 1 receiver anymore. They don't target him like a number 1 receiver. So the Ravens have to do a lot more than Lamar Jackson because the Texans are not, sitting back right now not watching film. They know what they got to do. That coach knows what they got to do. So the way that they got to stop this with quote-unquote man spy, zone spy, even with that spy, you think that guy can tackle Lamar Jackson one-on-one in open space? Not many people in the history have proven they can do that. So getting pressure on him could potentially be a bad thing. Open up screens, open up draws, open up him breaking one tackle, and he's going for 60, 70 yards.
Gosh, does Brandon have a new crush here? I mean, is it because Tyreek Hill's out? I mean, this is like, it was 5 minutes.
The ultimate.
It was 5 minutes of glazing Lamar Jackson to start the show, and then I talked for 30 seconds.
Shirt. Look at this.
And then look at that. And then I talked for 30 seconds, and we're back to reglazing Lamar Jackson again. All right, since we're on such a Lamar Jackson man crush, we might as well go right into NFL MVP so Brandon can talk for another 10 minutes about how he thinks Lamar Jackson should be MVP after he just talked to 10 minutes about how he thinks Lamar Jackson is MVP.
Hold on a second. Did I say that I think he should be MVP, or did I say that he's going to be because he's going to be nominated? Because look, here's what I got for a second, Brent. Okay, this is what I think throughout the year, right? I'm going to click on another button in a second and show you here in a second. In 1 second, not yet. I'm looking at this right now. Brock Purdy had a strong running for this. Came out blazing, right? In the background, you have the veterans. You got the people that have been there and done that, not in their second season, right? On extended gameplay, on opportunities to be a leader. They're in the background going, yeah, don't worry about that. We're going to finish this season strong. And I like what Josh Allen has done now. And even before this, Brent, you got some stats about Josh Allen I want you to give me. But Josh Allen has proven to really be in the running of MVP. I got to tell you, after watching the Bills games and throughout the seasons, I think they had a couple roadblocks. And Lamar Jackson did not have as many roadblocks. And the 49ers had roadblocks. And again, Lamar Jackson and his defense, they did not have as many roadblocks. So he rose to the top. But I like Josh Allen. We're not talking about Josh Allen playoff football. We're just talking about the season. He had great stats. Go ahead, Howard, pull it up for me real quick. So this realistically is the quote-unquote potential MVP. Didn't even play the last game. Why did he not play the last game of the season? Because he didn't have to. That's even more reason as to why he's in the running for the MVP, for throwing almost 3,700 yards, 24 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and didn't even play against the Pittsburgh Steelers, where he would have at least had more yards and more touchdowns, Brent, what you just said. And so that is why I think, and before I go back to that clip, Brent, I want you to talk about Josh Allen real quick. Christian McCaffrey and Tyreek Hill were right there. And Tyreek Hill got hurt, sat out a little bit, and kind of a little sluggish, come back in, still played great. And I think that hurt those votes. Not his fault in any way, shape, or form. But that is why he kind of fell up a little bit, was crushing it this season, and he has been for years. And you know I like the speed and ability and all that. But Christian McCaffrey, Brent, another great player, non-quarterback, not quarterbacks. These two players deserve to be up there very, 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 very high. Because they're not quarterbacks, they don't get listed as high.
When we were talking about, Brock Purdy and Tua Tagovailoa and Lamar Jackson as MVP and Dak Prescott, remember
Pull that back up again for me, Howard.
6 weeks ago, we were talking about that.
Yep.
And I was the one saying that, hey, there's no standout QB this year. This is the year to look at some of those other guys. And I was very high on Christian McCaffrey. But I think the NFL MVP is Josh Allen, and I don't even think it's close. And I think it's ridiculous that he's not going to win it again. And some guy that already won it once and didn't really, I don't know. I just think Josh Allen he threw for 4,300 yards. He had 44 touchdowns. I think the next closest was 36. 44 touchdowns. He dominated. He led his team from the 11th seed in the AFC in week 13 to the number 2 seed in the playoffs in 6 weeks.
I can't deny that at all. I want to come on here every day and debate
Jackson
with you.
Just put the thing in neutral and was like, my defense is, killing these teams, and I just got to hand the ball off and run around a little bit and throw to wide open receivers and take a week off at the end. That's not an MVP. An MVP is a guy who takes the entire team, by the way, with like the backups, the guy who died of a heart attack less than a year ago on the field with him, right? And Damar Hamlin. So that's the MVP of the league, and he won't win it. At best, he'll get recognized and be second, which may or may not happen. If you look at the odds, I have the odds for you right now, the Vegas odds. The Vegas odds have Lamar Jackson, then Dak Prescott, then Brock Purdy, then Josh Allen, then Christian McCaffrey and Tyreek Hill.
These are the MVPs, Brent. These three guys in the running right here. It's hands down. Listen, Lamar Jackson's getting the MVP. I can almost guarantee you that. And then you go right here, like I just showed you. These guys are the runner-ups. Dak Prescott had a great season. I'm not saying that. There has to be some kind of, okay, let me just say this. I like what you just said. Here, I'm going to tell you what I like and what I don't like real quick. What I like about the MVP process is, wait, hold on a second. I'm going to tell you something. This is what I like about the MVP process, okay? You watch the season, you watch the games, you watch the stats, but then you also look at the player, what he means to his team, because someone could throw for 5,000 yards and not be the MVP. Like you're saying, Josh Allen does all this, 44 touchdowns, clearly surpassed. I mean, C.J. Stroud has 23 touchdowns. He's rookie of the year going to be. Josh Allen has 44 touchdowns, doubled him. Then you got Lamar Jackson threw for 24. Would have threw for more against the Steelers, I would imagine a couple. So just say give him 2, say 26. Josh Allen still throws for almost double him. So I agree with what you're saying. Then it comes down to What have you done? And there's a personality. There's a lot of stuff in it. Who you are as a guy. They have to put a lot into this, and I'm not sure of every single dynamic measure. But I will agree with you 1,000% that Josh Allen right now, Brock Purdy was in there too. He led in every category basically getting up there. Dak Prescott was in there too. So those 4 quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott, Brock Purdy, and Josh Allen, right, as quarterbacks, bang, below that Christian McCaffrey and Tyreek Hill. But here's the thing I don't like. They do this voting process and they vote at the end of the regular season, right?
Yeah, the votes are in.
Yeah, and it's not about the playoffs. And I understand why. You could be phenomenal, lights out, and your team isn't that good. You could be a Barry Sanders, be the best running back. You're so dynamic. You don't have all the touchdowns. But you're such a great player. You played so well. But the MVP typically will go to a team that's thriving because a quarterback can't be thriving so well if they're not winning games, right? So what I don't like is that they give it before the season, the complete season's over, just the regular season. And then now the stars of this have to rise to the top. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Brock Purdy, they're the 4 guys that are in the playoffs right now, and they have to rise to the top and make things happen. And Josh Allen right now is like, whoa, this guy's doing it. Patrick Mahomes, whoa, right? So we're going to see what Lamar Jackson does against the Texans. That's going to be very big to see how he does. If he beats them convincingly and runs through there all crazy, people go, this is our MVP. If he doesn't, people are going to have a lot of questions. They're going to go, dude, Josh Allen should have had it. Or, I agree with you. That's where that will head.
All right.
Speechless over there because I think you agree.
Yeah, I'm kind of fatigued by the NFL MVP conversation. It's over. The votes are in.
And they let you down.
Vegas with odds is a joke. It's like they don't know who already won. Of course they do. They probably got every voter on payroll, right?
Well, guess what? We got a conversation for you that I know that you have a lot to say about Mike McCarthy, but they're keeping Mike McCarthy in Dallas. These 2 teams, Brent, were the biggest, in my book, the biggest letdowns of the year. Not the biggest losing record, not the Carolina Panthers. We're not talking about that. We're talking about 2 potential teams that should have been way further this season, done way more. Mike McCarthy's staying there right now with the Cowboys, and Nick Sirianni is still there with the Eagles. They have a lot of concerns. Jalen Hurts, where his mental state is Nick Sirianni staying there, and then Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott. Even though they had a lot of confusion, didn't make, the leeway for what they should have did, Jerry Jones is keeping Mike McCarthy. I know you don't like the situation, but Jerry Jones made this decision potentially because he couldn't get who he wanted, and I think you made that very clear, Brent, that if he couldn't get what he wanted, he would have to keep him.
He must have called Belichick or Harbaugh or Vrabel or we assume he wanted 3 or 4. He may have just wanted 1. And he made that call and he did not get an affirmative or whatever reason. Jerry didn't get what he wanted. He's stuck with McCarthy. I have 2 great quotes for you. The first is by Kyle Brand from Good Morning Football. He's the one that does the angry runs. Yeah. He's a Bills fan. He screams. I love him, right? He said on Twitter, at Kyle Brand, Cowboys going to give McCarthy another shot. My God, that's some 100% pure grass-fed, organic definition of insanity stuff right there. And then here's my favorite quote of all time by Albert Einstein. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting the same results. 12-5, 3 years in a row, first round playoff loss. Let's bring them back and do it again. Jerry, you've lost your mind. Cowboys fans, I'm sorry. I have no energy to yell and scream into this microphone, Brandon. I can just say, I'm sorry. have fun watching a season that you know is going to end in despair and pity and loss at the end of the year. Cowboys fan, enjoy.
I want to know who I really ultimately, and I've seen some things right now happen. They're trying to get some players right now. And I have one in mind that tomorrow I have a big conversation about, so we're not going to go in that right now. But I will say this. The Cowboys have to make some decisions very quickly, and here's why. Not because of potential winning right now. We're heading into playoff football. Cowboys are at home. Going to the Super Bowl. Cowboys are at home. The offseason starts. Winter conditioning starts. All that's going on. And then you head into the spring. We got a lot of OTAs, a lot to happen. They don't have to make decisions for the sake of their football team right now. They need to make decisions for the sake of their fan base and identity right now, because people are like,
Jerry
okay, we lost, and you came in. Jerry Jones said specifically, we should have won. And every team goes into a playoff game going, we should have won.
Jerry,
but the biggest letdown is they did nothing. They made no changes. McCarthy made no changes. The second half was terrible. The first half was miserable. Yeah, they came back a little bit. The defense let up a little bit because they're just letting the clock run down a little bit, letting them drive the ball a little. First down, okay, punt, Big letdown. Big letdown, Brent. But tell me this. I know you don't like Mike McCarthy. I know not that you're pissed off because you really don't really give a shit. You like the Bills, but you live in Texas. But how about the Eagles, right? How about the Eagles? Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts, he's still there. I guess they're keeping him too.
These topics are exhausting, right? Because we just keep talking about the same stuff. And it's in the media
every day. Brent,
look,
the reason why we're talking about this is because
I know, but it's exhausting to talk about these guys over and over again, because just like Mr. Einstein said, they keep doing the same stupid stuff over and over again and expect different results. And it's just, it's mind-boggling. Here's the thing I want to say. One last thing about the Cowboys is, Jerry doesn't care what the fans think. And Jerry certainly isn't tearing his roster apart around Mike McCarthy. He's not. See, if you think he goes, I'm going to keep Mike McCarthy and I'm going to get rid of Dak and I'm going to get rid of this guy and that guy and we're going to rebuild around Mike. No, that's not what he's doing, Dad. He's keeping the band back together. Literally what Einstein and Brandt just said. He's just going to run the same play again and expect different results. With the Eagles, I think, Sirianni took a team that wasn't very good, brought in Jalen Hurts, got him really clicking 2 years ago and very strong through 11 games this year. And then things sort of fell apart. So I don't think it's fair to any human, or especially to Nick Sirianni, to say you're done. I think he gets a chance to redeem himself. I think that's almost obvious. And I think that we'll see he'll have next season to do that. If they start out and they're losing and they have a losing record, he'll probably be gone by the bye week, would be my guess. But, I think they expect him to just figure out what went wrong, make the adjustments, and be right back at 10-1 again next year. And so we'll see how that goes. I really like this next topic, though, Brandon, the trade versus the draft. And I think it's really good that we brought this up, right? Is it smarter to trade a player or draft one? I'll let you take lead on that.
Well, and this particular photo here that we're pulling up is like, okay, the draft trade. It's kind of like, moving draft trades around. But for the interesting part of the show today and what I want to talk about is, do you draft a player, or do to get a rookie, a new guy, especially a first, second round pick, the guy who lit it up all through college? Guys like Tom Brady did not go first, second round, became amazing. But do you draft a player, or do you find what you need this offseason to be successful from a veteran? It's not that you have to go and spend a bunch of money on one particular player in the draft and move stuff around and sell your soul to get that one pick, to get that quarterback, and move it around, and you don't get that guy, and you go, oh my God, we blew it, and you're stuck for years to come. I think a lot of teams, now that we see, are on the list. People like the Bears, people like the Pats, right? People like the Cowboys now. What do they need? Like all the Eagles, like what are they missing? So it comes down to reality is, a lot of teams are rising up that weren't so good. Lions win games. Rams went down, they came back. You know, a lot of teams, the Jaguars had a chance this season and they blew it at the end. But it's kind of building that where teams are coming up and some are coming down, and it's getting kind of even across the board. Look at the Buccaneers this year with Baker Mayfield. That came out of nowhere. So the Packers blew the Cowboys out. I mean, this is not, it's becoming less of a surprise. It's like, well, yep, happened again. So realistically, these teams that were just missing something, do they jump in and draft a player with hopes that they're going to jump in there and be a beast like a defensive tackle? Those guys are animals. They're young, high energy. Yeah, I like that. I like those defensive tackles coming in and, you know, the nose guards, the DNs. I like those players. I'm not sure that I'm a big fan of drafting a quarterback because they ran all over the place in college football. But I think that's a veteran move. I think when you look at the quarterback gameplay, who needs a quarterback? Steelers, quote unquote, you know, guys like that, maybe the Patriots. I think you go find a player that has a lot of success, is ready for another contract, come in, give you a couple years, build your program. And Brent, I'm not talking a 1-year deal like an Aaron Rodgers. Let me get you for 1 year. No, I'm talking someone you believe in. Hey, we want to sign you 3 years. Potential, you know, a guy that can come in and play more. And so if I'm in the driver's seat right now and I'm running an organization that had bad quarterback play, I'm going to go find a veteran at the quarterback position. That's my opinion. If you're on the other side, picking other players, maybe some offensive tackles, and I think you made a good point yesterday, was like, hey, build your offensive line. Your quarterback won't have to be as good, and you could do phenomenal with a great offensive line. So
Brandon,
I'm with you with that. What do you think in this conversation?
I've not received a call from Mark Davis yet for an interview to be the Raiders GM. So I thought you were going to take care of that for me. I'm really disappointed you let me down. I think you start with why. Like, what am I trying to achieve? Obviously, what positions am I trying to fill? What am I trying to achieve? Am I rebuilding or am I one piece away? I don't really believe in the NFL anyone is one piece away. Like, it's a freaking 11 guys on the field. It's not like, I mean, it just doesn't, in my opinion, doesn't work that way, except for maybe a quarterback. If you're an established team that has a good set of young talent, it might be smart to go trade or sign a free agent of an experienced quarterback to come in. But those guys are hard to come by, right? There's a reason why they are available, right? You need to consider that. I think that as far as like, if you're a team that's trying to build or restock, go for rookies. Like, so if I'm the Cowboys, I probably don't, I don't know one piece that's going to put them over the top other than getting a different coach. Right. So I think you continue to draft. You don't spend draft capital on veteran players. You don't waste your salary cap on veteran players because in free agency they're overpriced. I think you go get rookies and you keep building your talent level in the background, and those guys, if they play well, they'll step up and they'll take a role. I think that's how you do it. I think it's very situational based. I think it's based on what you need, what you want, and what your goals are. But if you're a top team, you know, you just keep refilling the cupboards with top players. That's what the Chiefs have basically done, right? And, you know, they keep going. So then they get rid of the guys when they come up for free agency and they bring in the new guys. So
look, I think bringing a quarterback right now, Brad, people have to understand these great quarterbacks that are playing football right now, a lot of them have great offensive coordinators. A lot of them had great coaches. But listen, even in college, you go back, and I heard this yesterday, I watched it this morning. I saw a whole clip on this too. You look at these big-time quarterbacks and who they had coaching them, and then you go back and look at people like Jalen Hurts, who's his head coach now. Patrick Mahomes has always had Andy Reid. And I'm not taking anything away from Patrick Mahomes. He's phenomenal. He's a GOAT. He's doing it. I'm just saying he's got Andy Reid there every year. When you go and look at all these coaches, look at Dak Prescott. Not winning all the way through. He's got Mike McCarthy. Then he had Jason Garrett. You keep going on. You got to find the coach that's there, that's built to stay, to last. Obviously, Bill Belichick had to be somewhat talented. Brady was great. Belichick was great. I mean, there's a lot that has to do with your offensive coordinator, your coaching, the guy that's running that offensive structure, and then your head coach as well. I think it's big for your quarterback gameplay. But, Brian, I'll let you explain something right now. Give us the story. Found unconscious Colts owner. What do you have on him?
This happened in December. He was found lying in his bed and was cold to the touch when emergency personnel reached him in his home in Carmel, Indiana. He was weak and slow and unconscious. They found a bunch of prescription drugs and different things in his system, and they believe he had some type of overdose or something. Like they don't know if it was, medically induced, or they don't know if it was like why he overdosed, right? On these prescription drugs that he had. And now they say that he's having trouble breathing and he's very sick and he's in the hospital again, right? They just learned of this situation in December. Today, because he's back in the hospital, they're trying to figure out what's wrong with him. So ESPN, TMZ figured all this stuff out.
Hey, Buffalo Hogan in the chat. Buffalo Hogan is stating something that's pretty interesting. Belichick's second interview with the Falcons, which, listen, Atlanta's been building a lot outside of the team. I'm talking Atlanta, the city. They're building everywhere. They're building new structures. Obviously, UGA is phenomenal. But Bill Belichick interviewing for the second time.
Wow.
With the Falcons is interesting, and I will say this.
By the way, I will say this: Buffalo Hogan is a legend in Buffalo, right? So, have you ever watched the TV broadcast and you see the guy with the guitar, the Elvis? He's dressed up like Elvis. He's on literally every Bills broadcast when they do the shots of the stands.
Of course. Yeah.
He's got the guitar. They call him Buffalo Elvis.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
For a very long time, in about 10, 15 years ago. And when I was a season ticket holder there, down on the wall there with Buffalo Elvis was Buffalo Hogan, dressed up with the red, white, and blue, right? The boas and the full Hogan outfit, and it was legendary. So I suspect that this isn't the actual Buffalo Hogan on the chat.
I love that name, Buffalo Hogan.
It's great. I'll find some pictures. I think I got some pictures of Buffalo Hogan.
But listen, Brent, check this out real fast, okay? So Amazon goes ahead and is helping the bankruptcy deal with Diamond Sports, right? So I got this whole thing. Amazon will invest.
Bezos isn't helping anybody. He's acquiring.
No, but check this out. Amazon will invest in Diamond Sports as part of a bankruptcy restructuring agreement. Now, Amazon will partner with Diamond Sports as part of the agreement, but as the largest owner of regional sports networks looks to emerge from bankruptcy. So, and I looked at this, I read this, and quote unquote, and it says right here, Diamond owns 18 networks under the Bally Sports banner.
Yep.
Howard, pull the picture up of the country here to give an idea. So look at this. Okay. So listen to this.
I'll give you a clue. All the Mavericks games are on Bally Sports.
But listen to this.
All the Rangers games? Yeah.
Diamond owns 18 networks under Bally Sports banner. Those networks have the rights to 37 professional teams, 11 baseball, 15 NBA, 11 NHL, and Diamond Sports has been in Chapter 11 bankruptcy proceedings in the Southern District of Texas since it filed for protection last March. The company said in a late 21 financial filing that it had debt of $8.6 billion. So why is this significant? Howard, pull up for us Prime Thursday Night Football. So every time you're watching sports, Brent, now all of a sudden,
they're starting to
Amazon Prime. Then it's, hey, watch on Peacock. And then it's, listen, I just want to watch on the damn channel. I don't mind going to Prime, but now you got to go on there, and they want you to get a membership.
You're never going to be able to watch on the damn channel again, Brandon.
Before you know it, you're going to have YouTube TV, because I got to tell you, I use YouTube TV every day, and it is phenomenal. I'm not trying to boast, they're not sponsoring our show, but when I go on YouTube TV, I find every single show that I want to watch. And
but you can't watch a Mavs game on YouTube TV. because they don't have an agreement with Bally Sports. And now that they're owned by Amazon, they're not going to have an agreement with Bally Sports because Amazon is going to put all that content on Prime, and you're going to have to have a Prime subscription to watch those Bally. Now, I will say this. This is brilliant by Amazon, right? Amazon wants to get into sports. They're going to acquire all these little things you've never heard of before. And the next thing you know, they're going to be the top guy.
Amazon's rated a top guy. Listen, Jeff Bezos.
No, they're the top guy. They're not the top guy in sports. They're about to be.
Well, Jeff Bezos went to the high school that's 30 feet from my house. So
he did.
I looked at the one of the teachers and I said,
is Jeff Bezos on Mars, living on a Mars colony right now?
Listen, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, these guys do what they want. But here's what I want to get to. I went to the school and I said, my kids in Miami got to go to private school. There's great schools here, but they got to go to private, growing up at this age. You want to do that? And the teacher looked dead in my face and she said, went to school here? And I said, who? She said, Jeff Bezos. I went, the guy, she's like, yeah, that guy. I said, my kids can go here. I don't think it's a big deal. I think they can go here. So at the end of the day, like you said, he's not helping anybody. He's helping Amazon, and good for him. But I just don't get how every time you turn the TV on now, you really have to do your homework. How am I going to watch the game tonight? I got to call you, Brent. Hey, Brent. It's on Prime. Oh, it's on Peacock. Oh, download pay-per-view. There's too many. I don't like that, controlling all of that. ESPN is basically free. Anytime
Brandon,
you want to go on there, this is going to get very interesting.
You're embarrassing yourself, Brandon. You're dating yourself. Like, look, these kids, they don't care. They just figure it out. It's on here somewhere. I'll find it. Right? They don't.
Yeah, but literally, people have discussion on this because it's like, you just turn on and click through. No, you got to go to your app. It's like an iPhone. Now, your TV, I'm sure if you're like me, and you said this, you have all these freaking applications and things. You got to go on there, have all these apps to do anything you want to do. It's like, I don't even use my TV for like a TV. I just use it for the smart TV options and use all the applications. And Amazon now will just be more involved with all TV, all sports. I didn't see NFL on there, though. It just said
Prime will just have more content. Like, Prime already has tons of content. So,
yep.
Brandon, we had one sad story about Jim Irsay, which is incredibly sad. I hope he's okay, and I hope he recovers. And we have another incredibly sad story. Golden State Warriors assistant coach Dejan Milokovic, and I'm probably not saying that correct.
I'm not going to
He
try.
obviously was part of the team because of Nikola Jokic, right? He's a mentor of Nikola Jokic and is from his native Serbia and was a coach on the Warriors, right? Now Nikola Jokic plays for the Nuggets, but he's a friend and mentor to Nikola Jokic, and he died on Wednesday in Utah after suffering a heart attack during the team dinner. The team announced he was 46 years old and helped them win the championship in 2022. Dude,
sad,
what in
bro.
the heck? That's insane, right?
At a team dinner, you get rushed to the hospital?
Like, I can't even imagine. Yeah, getting rushed to the hospital, and very, very sad story. The Warriors have been going through a lot lately on the court. Now they have to go through this off the court. When Brandon told me that the Warriors coach died of a heart attack, I thought it was Steve Kerr, who I thought had heart surgery or had some heart problems a couple years ago. Right. So,
which I was unaware of that. And so I didn't know that, by the way. So now I get why.
He was very sick and had to take some time off a couple of years ago. I can't remember specifically what it was.
You're right. But that's sad, Brent. I mean, to me,
incredibly sad.
Very young. Prayers to the family, as always. Warriors, great organization. Got rushed to the hospital. Dies very young in his 40s. Heart attack. In a great position, great opportunity. Brent, that's detrimental for the Warriors. They postponed some stuff, I believe, and they're going to reschedule some stuff and games and stuff. But during a team dinner, that's like an eye-awakening. And I will say this, too, as you get older, and you mentioned this, too, Brent, as you get older, you start going, whoa, that guy just died at 40, and you're like, whoa, at your age, you're probably looking at it going, he's my age. So you're thinking,
my
wow.
age, I thought I was I thought I was 18. I think that's what we were.
You look like you could be
18.
16 sometimes. And then I go, wait a second, you're in your 40s. I don't get it. You look like you could be 12. You come on here sometimes in the morning. You're like, hey, good morning. I'm like, dude, this guy's in high school. So,
yeah,
but listen,
just getting my lunch, my sack lunch together, peanut butter and jelly.
Let's talk about Bronny James
Bronny.
because Brian, everybody, when I watched Bronny James play, he's a great player. In high school, obviously, was phenomenal. But now with USC, and up until last night, I thought this was interesting because he put the peace sign up, but he had 2 points for the last couple games until last night. Speaking of 2, he had only 2 points in 2 games. So that's really difficult to say, hey, Bronny James could now go and play in the NBA. And I'm not saying he's not good. His dad is obviously one of the best of all time, and arguably to some people, the best of all time, broke all these records, MVPs, accolades, championships. But he has a mentor, obviously. But now, Bronny James, and he suffered some, cardiac, some heart conditions. He's back on the court. Brent, I strongly feel Bronny James is nothing like LeBron James. Is nothing like the guys that they potentially early on are like, he's going to be a superstar. I'm not saying anybody said he's like LeBron, but they were like, he can go straight from high school. Bronny James needs all 4 years of college basketball, at least 3, before the real conversation is like come to the NBA. What does that mean? No. That means the chances of LeBron playing with him next season when his contract is up and he can go anywhere.
No.
But listen, I know what you're going to say, but any team could just get Bronny James and you get LeBron for free. So, yeah, I get it. We'll draft Bronny and LeBron's going to come play for nothing for us. So we can do that.
What pick would you trade to get LeBron James for 3 years, let's call it, at a minimum salary? What pick would you trade? First pick?
Let's go first pick.
Okay.
That's the only solution.
Bronny James might not even be a draftable player, but he's going first overall, bro.
He's going to the Pistons.
He's going to the Pistons, and you think I'm freaking joking? Like, now they'll make a mockery out of this, right? Like,
Imagine if he went to the Warriors.
No, they'll make a mockery out of this. Like, this is going to be, LeBron's going to have to come out and say something like, look, I'm not just going to go to any team. The league is going to make him make some statement about this because this is going to make a mockery of the draft.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
If LeBron James said, if wherever Brent Chapman plays next year, I will come and play for him at the minimum league salary. 44-year-old Brent Chapman with a 2-inch vertical jump.
You're going.
Has a beer belly, but doesn't drink, and is a below-average white guy, would be the number 1 pick in the NBA draft.
You know what? But listen, to the happiness of that and to what you're saying is very true. But here's what I'll tell you. For a long-term career for Bronny James, I think it's very detrimental. If he's a superstar this year, great. But if he's not a superstar, what you just said, it's mockery to the draft. It's bad for the NBA draft, 1.
It's bad.
2, it's bad for Bronny in the future. Everyone's going to say, yeah, you're rich. That's great. But you only got that because of that.
The NBA is definitely going to make LeBron. And by the way, LeBron made those comments like 2 years ago. He hasn't reiterated them anytime soon. And I don't believe it's because he doesn't want to. I believe the NBA doesn't want him to be saying that. Now, if Bronny was a top 10 pick in the draft and a top 10 talent, they wouldn't care if LeBron James was saying, yeah, but the fact that he isn't, LeBron James can, because now it's like a trade, right? I'm going to get LeBron James on the veteran minimum. Yeah, I'll give up the number 1 pick in the draft for LeBron James on the veteran minimum salary.
Well, Brent, the truth is, an NBA team could do what they want. You could take who you want, and it doesn't just bring games or wins. It brings all the media. It brings all the ticket sales. It brings everything to your city. It helps you. Listen, LeBron James, I'll tell you this, I live in Miami.
I'll trade 2 first-round picks for that.
LeBron James single-handedly, I'm telling you right now, Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade was great for Miami. LeBron James single-handedly helped build the city of Miami to potential, like unlimited potential. Because when he got here, I'm telling you, so many people were like, I'm moving to Miami. Miami's great. But then he got here. Oh, my God. Then they're winning NBA championships and finals. They're right where the stadium is, Brent. They're building these massive buildings in operation, the biggest malls inside of a city.
That's right.
This helps build. And wherever, to end this segment, wherever LeBron James goes next, mark my word, if Bronny goes somewhere, LeBron goes there, that city will erupt for business. It'll erupt for viewership.
Exactly.
They'll build stadiums will grow, fans will grow, and they will help build that city. It's not like casinos.
I will end this topic by saying the following. LeBron James will be playing with Bronny James next season. How that comes about and what is said publicly might not be as clear, but the end result will be LeBron will get what he wants, and the NBA will make sure that that happens, and that's the bottom line.
Very interesting, Brent. Listen.
Well, Brandon, we did good today. We ended a little early, which is fine, right? We have people can go back to work.
Rolling.
They can make their 10 o'clock meeting, which I also have. So I think that that's really great. Everyone can make their 10 o'clock meeting.
Before you go, Texans or Ravens? Got to pick one. Because tomorrow we're not going over this. So who you got?
All right, I got you.
Who?
In a matchup between the Rookie of the Year and the NFL MVP, CJ Stroud is going to prove that Josh Allen should have been the MVP because he's going to beat Lamar Jackson in the playoffs in Baltimore. That's my pick. You got it. There's my upset.
All right, so no points today. Just talking the winner. So you're taking Texans over the Ravens.
Correct.
Head to head. No spread. We're just going with the Texans. Okay. So here's what I got. I'm going to go against you for many reasons. And my wife, I do every day. So we battle. That's why I got my cup that says his. I don't know if you can read it or not. Mine says his. Hers said hers. So we don't have to worry about that. So I'm going to go against you for the sake of the argument. So I love CJ Stroud. I love what he's doing. And I really believe that the Texans have a team this year to do some damage. They battle back. They have a great record. He's got all the stats. This is the only upset, and I agree with you, that can happen. Because you went with the Texans, I'm going on the other side. I'm taking the Ravens, and I'm taking Lamar Jackson. The MVP is going to light it up. I think the rest is going to help some players that come out a little bit sluggish. I think the veteran in Lamar Jackson, the coaching staff, the Harbaughs are on this year. I like the Texans, but I'm taking the Ravens in this matchup.
All right.
And that's it, Brent. So listen. Thanks for having you every day, 10 a.m. I'll see you tomorrow, bright and early. Let you get out of here early, and I will see you fresh tomorrow, because tomorrow we have another matchup we're going to dive into.
All right. Take care, everyone. Have a great day.
Guys, thanks for tuning into the Brandon Mason Show. We love to have you every single day. We got a lot of action this weekend. Every day we talk sports, but tomorrow we have another matchup heading into the playoffs. We want to see what you guys think. Comment and like and subscribe, because we have a lot that's going to happen. What do you guys think? The Texans with CJ Stroud, or the Ravens with the potential supposedly going to be Lamar Jackson, the MVP? Until next time, we'll see you soon.